Hello guys, how are you today? I hope that you always be fine, and I also hope that you're ready for our lesson today. Today we will learn about adjective clauses. And before we start our lesson, let me introduce myself. My name is Yemima and I am your English teacher. Today we will learn about adjective clauses, and before we start it, I will show you our mind map of teaching adjective clauses. The first part is about pre-teaching, consists of three parts: gain students' attention, preview, and review. And about gain student attention, we already did greet the student, and we don't need to do the second part, which is read the attendance list, because we have no attendance list, right? And I don't know what is your name, and I don't know how many people I teach in this occasion. And about preview and review, we can skip it and we move to the body of teaching. We have three main part of our teaching lesson. The first one is reading short essay on the book. And about our short essay, we use essay on the book of Bahasa Inggris kelas 11 from Intan Pariwara on semester 2. So we will use LKS Bahasa Inggris kelas 11 semester 2 from Intan Pariwara. And we will read page 54 about Ismail Marzuki, and we will mention the sentence that have adjective clauses inside the essay. And next is about explain about adjective clauses. I will explain the definition of adjective clauses. And the next is I will explain the characteristic of adjective clauses. And the last one is explain the usage of the main relative pronoun in the adjective clauses. And then the third part is ask the student to make a sentence using adjective clauses. So after I explain about adjective clauses, I will ask you to make a sentence using adjective clauses. And the third part of our activity is post-teaching review. Before we end our lesson, I will review our lesson today, and then I will give you independent work. And the homework is make a descriptive paragraph for until 8 sentences that contain 3 sentences using adjective clauses. And then and then preview our lesson today. Review our lesson for next meeting, and we can skip that part. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. Adjective clauses. After we read the essay on page 54 about Ismail Marzuki, we find that some sentences have adjective clauses. For example, the sentence, his first song was O Sarina, which he wrote at the age of 17. And the second example is, and the last song that he wrote was Inikah Bahagia. Those clauses in bold are called adjective clauses. What is adjective clauses? Adjective clauses is simply a group of words with a subject and a verb that provide a description and modify a noun. The clauses start with a relative pronoun such as who, whom, that, or which. Not this one. And then or an adverb such as when, where, and why. And adjective clauses do not change the basic meaning of the sentence. In some cases, when they provide more information into a sentence, they need to be set off with commas. And a relative pronoun is usually used to introduce an adjective clauses. And the main relative pronouns are who, whom, that, which. Actually, not only that relative pronoun is not only consists of who, whom, that, and which, but we commonly only use for relative pronoun. This for relative pronoun. And then about for I will give about for relative pronoun. I will give you the explanation for each one. The first one is who. Who is used for human in subject position. The special thing of who between the other main relative pronouns is who can only use for human. It cannot use for animal, for example, or things, or the name of company, for example. We cannot use who to explain the name of a company because who can only explain or use for a human in a subject position. For example, Caroline, who is a doctor, lives in Bali. The second example, the men who are called first will have front seat. And the last one is a superhero who is save my town is Spider-Man. We know that for who in this case, the first one, Caroline, who is a doctor, live in Bali. Who here is explained about Caroline, which is a subject in this sentence. And so it also happened in the second and third example. And next is whom. Whom is used for human in object position. Same as who, it can only use for human. And the difference is what part of the sentence that explain for explain with this main relative pronouns. The example is the first one, Jenny, whom Gary knows well, is a dentist. The second one is the man whom is catched by the police killed 5 people. And the last one is Kelly, whom Owen loves, make a delicious pie. For the first example, whom here explains Jenny, that is the object of this sentence because the subject is Gary who knows Jenny well. And the second one, the man is explained by the whom in the sentence because the subject is the police. And then we continue to the next part, which is used for things and animals in subject or object position. Which is which is used often for our sentence because it can be used for anything like things, animal, but it cannot use for human. And it can explain the subject or the object position. For example, the usage of which is The first one, the Australian cow, which can produce lots of milk than American cow. It's just the example. I don't know the reality. Haha. And next is the book, which consists of 456 pages, is full of picture. How beautiful that book, right? And the last one is I have a cat which follows me everywhere I go. Yes, it's clear enough, right, to explain, I mean, like how we use which in our sentence. And next is that. This is the most easy relative pronouns that we can use in our sentence because it can explain or it can use for humans, animals, and things in subject and object position. My teacher in my senior high school said that if you confuse to choose which one of the relative pronouns that you want to use, you can choose that because it always right. It has no limitation for the usage. It's like it that can explain or that can use for human, for the name of something, and for animal. But sometimes we need to change our decision to choose the other option like whom and who and which, because if we only use that, it will be boring. I mean, we can make our sentence, our paragraph will be more attractive if we can use the other relative pronouns, and that is our last option. It's like when we don't know which one we need to use, we can use that for our relative pronoun. And then the example of the usage of this relative pronoun is the first one, I met the good teacher that you told me yesterday. And the second one, the dog that run around the garden is mine. And the last one is something that smells bad, may be rotten. It can that can apply to so many sentences. It's like it have no limitation for explaining the subject or the object position. So it will be safe if you don't know which one to choose to make a sentence, you can use that. But we will learn all of the main relative pronouns so you can make your sentence with more better. And we come back after we learn about the body of teaching. As I said before, that I will ask you to make a sentence using adjective clauses. Please make three sentence that consists of, the first one is the sentence that using which, and the second one the sentence that using who, and the third one the sentence that using whom. I'm not ask you to using that because I think that it's too easy, right? So let's do your work to make 3 sentences. I will give you 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. Can you read your work? Okay, that's a good sentence. You done it. You do it well. Okay. And and the last is about review. Yes, today we already learned about adjective clauses. Yeah, adjective clauses is simply a group of words with a subject and verb that provide a description and modify a noun. And we learn about three main relative pronoun. We learn about the main relative pronouns that consist of who, whom, which, that, and that. And then I will give you the other assignment. You will do it at your home. That is, make a description paragraph 4 until 8 sentence that contain 3 sentences using adjective clauses. You can describe something that you like. For example, that you can describe your pet, and then you can describe about your school. For example, you are free to choose what topic that you want to talk about. Okay guys, that's all for today. Thank you, and I hope that you can remember all of the lesson that we learned today. About what? About adjective clauses. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.